Hey guys, thanks for joining me again today for another interview that I have with a TESOL professional. My name is Sharon. I'm happy that you're here today. If we've never met, I'll give you some background information about me. I used to teach English in intensive English programs in higher education for 13 years. And last year in 2019, I switched jobs and now I am an instructional media designer for Sinclair Community College. And today I am joined by Saurabh. Did I say your name right?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, and I'll let you introduce yourself.
And for viewers, my name is Saurabh Anand. I graduated with an MA degree from Minnesota State University this spring. I'm originally from India, and I born and grew up in Delhi, India, which is the national capital of India. I will be starting my PhD in language and literacy at the University of Georgia starting this fall.
Very cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So for people who are joining us, I first met virtually Saurabh because he submitted a submission to the Intercultural Communication Intersection newsletter. That's a mouthful, from TESOL. So I got to read his experiences about being a native speaker of English, teaching English to international students who didn't necessarily see him as a native speaker of English. So I'm sure that we'll talk about that. Do you want to start with that question? Would that be a good one to start with?
The kind of students I taught when I was L2 writing instructor at Minnesota State University as a graduate teaching assistant, I met students who are exactly like me. You know, born and grew up in outside America, coming to the United States as an international student, learning different things, going through a lot of cultural shock, and they were mostly first semester or freshly admitted students. Mm-hmm. So I could connect with them on many levels, actually, be it intellectually or personally, or what kind of areas of improvements that they were going through, or what kind of challenges, what were the opportunities that they were coming across. During those conversations, or when I interacted with them inside outside classroom, I found that sometimes they have internalized this factor that, you know, how somebody who is not a white person can teach them English, okay?
Yeah.
And instead of being, the point that I'm trying to make here is that instead of being upset, feel that, you know, this is not my language, I thought of getting to the root of this cause, or, you know, where this ideology is coming from.
Yeah.
It's not the first time that I was teaching English. I taught English for years when I was in India before 2018, when I moved to the United States. And it was never a problem for me. I worked as in a very call center related environment where I used to work as a digital marketer and used to work for people in the United States, in the UK or Australia. So I was always interacting with native English speaking country people, right? And I was never been told that my English is a problem, or, you know, or there's something which is not comprehensible or comprehensible. But then when I got few reviews from my students, I got to know that they have this kind of they have internalized this white or English speaking certain I would say native English superiority, that only a white person can teach them perfect English.
Right. And I love that perfect English, because I heard that when I was a teacher too. Like, if I would play a textbook and it would be an accent from someone in Latin America, you know, they would be like, oh, I don't want to hear that. That's not good English. And I'm like, guys, listen, how are you going to be using English in the future? Is it only going to be with native English speakers in the United States or Britain? And that's not true. A lot of them are going to be using English with people from Brazil or China.
Yeah, and even the research shows that 80% of the people in the world speak English, which are outside the native English speaking countries, and they speak in English only because that those people themselves do not share their first language. So I mean, English should not be seen as something belong to a specific community. I think it would be really I don't want to because of the lack of word. I think I would say it would be really stupid to compartmentalize or
Yeah.
put English into a specific box that belongs to US or Canada or the UK or Australia or the New Zealand and so forth. I think English is like water, which can go and penetrate into any territory and take a shape of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why scholars like Kachru or Matsuda, they have come up with a lot of insights for us that and to be honest, before I moved to the United States, I did not even know about world Englishes quite. All my understanding was limited to differentiating between the US accent or the UK accent or the Australian accent, but I did not know that there's a whole concept of Englishes.
Mm-hmm.
There have been a lot of review of literature related to the amalgamation of English and culture and different variety, and we can have a different kind of English originate from the language itself, and when it blends into a culture,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was quite an incredible experience for me. So I started talking about. So when I realized that my students perhaps wouldn't know, but they are not doing this intentionally. They are not trying to be rude here,
Right.
and
Right.
but it's just that they do not know things,
Yeah.
and if someone doesn't know anything, it does not mean that that person is at fault.
Mm-hmm.
Facilitating that knowledge could open so many doors of opportunities and knowledge for my students, and that's what I really wanted to do for my students.
Right.
I wanted to introduce them to different varieties of English, so that they don't feel that there's only one specific way of learning English, and only one or specific kinds or dialects or dictions are the most appropriate. I think there should be an equality of all the accents or all the varieties or different types of Englishes, unless and until the context is getting imputed.
Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate you doing that, because too often the way that the university officials see it is, oh, we've got to fix the international students, and it's like, do you not understand you are missing an opportunity to help students who are United States citizens, people who've lived here. I guess so, not just citizens, but people who have grown up in the United States. You are missing the opportunity for them to develop their intercultural competence.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, we've got to make sure that these international students are interculturally competent. I'm like, oh, sweet Lord, listen, like, you have so many people here, you have white Americans, and I say white because they're the ones that sometimes don't see that they have culture. They're normal, right? And it's like, no. You need to understand that you have culture, what it is. And when higher education administrators don't understand that this is also something that their predominantly white population needs, who is monolingual, monocultural, like, we are really missing an opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we keep putting in our mission statements like, oh, we have global mission and our students are going to be global citizens. I'm like, are they really? Like, are we really doing that?
I completely understand that, and I completely hear you, and I'm able to, feel you, and this kind of, I'm not sure if it is an aggression, but but the kind of, but your response is quite timely, and there is, and there's a vital need to tell the officials, or let the policymakers at institutional level or government level. It's really important to let them know that what you are visioning, or whatever your missions are. In order to meet those, you first have to believe that it has to start from ground level. You can't expect students to be interculturally competent, or you can't make your domestic students uh, global citizens, or any students for that matter global citizens, unless unless you see the different determinants uh, uh, of culture, or languages, as amoeba, like as flexible as amoeba,
Yeah.
that wherever they go they will take its shape. So I think understanding those individualistic importance and utility would give opportunities to every section of the society grow in their own individual sense, and collectively as more broad-minded.